Hey everybody, thanks for listening. This is the Mike Gormley Show, and we are back with Stewart Copeland and hearing stories about, yes, of course, the police, but also some other little things he's up to. In fact, we went out with Every Breath You Take, a version with Ricky Cage, and came back with Every Breath You Take, but it's Stewart messing with friends. It's a jam session from on Every Breath You Take. Is that right, Stewart?
Well, I wouldn't describe an orchestral score as a jam session.
Okay.
Not just every note is on the page, but every nuance is on the page. It's not just a series of notes, da 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 da. It's da 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 da. And so all those inflections you got to put on the page for the orchestra. So they do not improvise. Um, they play exactly what's on the page, and that's what I love about them. Me as a drummer, not so much.
Right. Well, but drummers have music. It's not like there is drum.
So it is said.
Oh, yeah. So well, you want, I'll send you some. You,
Okay.
you can actually see some if you wish. Um, okay, well, we're talking about a lot of stuff. Here's the thing, though. We'll get into some other things, but you're not doing TV shows and movies anymore. I remember when you were doing um, what was it? What was the one we were working on? Oh, the Equalizer,
Oh yeah.
and it was a long time ago, but
Don't age yourself.
before it became a movie, it was a TV show.
Yeah.
I remember you found out that you work Sunday through Friday. Friday, you send in the music for them to put on and then you start over again. You basically have maybe Saturday off or maybe not. It's constant for the whole season. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's like the boot camp of film composing. It was actually I'd get the show arrive on Tuesday and I'd ship it Friday, and for each episode, and I'd get a list of where they need music. We need danger here, we need suspicion there, we need happy, we need sad, whatever, and I would do it. And for the pilot, I had plenty of time and I had all kinds of bits of music in the cookie jar which I could use. By episode three, I'd used up my cookie jar. I got to come up with this score here now today, and I learned that you can, that I had to put something on tape. I'm shipping it Friday. There's going to be music on the tape where they asked for it, whether it's my finest hour or not. Haven't got time for that. No time for judgment. There's something on the tape. And I discovered something interesting, that under that pressure, without having time for judgment or rethinking or anything, that's the best music I ever wrote. The best music I ever wrote was for either for Spyro the game, where I had to do like a quadruple album every summer for 4 years, for the Spyro the Dragon game. Um, Under that pressure, the best little three-note trick, dun 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 dun, or this bass lines, or the best stuff came from that time when I was under the most pressure. And it's interesting that when you haven't got time to think, you can be your most creative.
Uh, but it is a bit of a tightrope walk. I mean, it may have turned out to be most creative, but at the time you're just going full bore and hoping.
Yeah, you haven't got time to think. You just do it. Just point yourself, writer's block. Ha 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 ha. No time for that. Something goes on the tape. And I think the reason for this is that since you haven't got time, you just have to go with it. You can't change your mind or judge it, saying, maybe that's not good enough. You haven't got time for that's not good enough. And in fact, you pick up momentum. And without that judgment, without that hesitancy, you pick up momentum and the work gets deeper and deeper. Instead of more and more shallow, as you would think through being in a hurry, the music, the art actually gets deeper and deeper.
Might be a hint for any kind of musician that can take months to write or record and so on. Is just do it and see
Just
what
do
happens.
it. Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's great. You sort of did that with the police, right? You were just talking earlier about how you didn't necessarily know what you were going to play when the time came to record. Uh,
That's right. And
that, that
as far as judgment goes, do a couple takes. Hey, guy, let's do another take. I think I got it. And they, no, 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 it's fine, Stuart. It's fine. And I'm going, but, I didn't quite get to the verse until, yeah, it's fine. Okay.
all right. Well, you okay?
Yeah.
Um, it may be getting a little technical, but that's okay. There are drummers listening, I'm sure. Um, you're left-handed.
Yep.
You play right-handed. Is
I
that
play, period.
you
Um,
play?
in instruments, both hands are working. Both hands need full dexterity. And so whether you're left-handed or right hand really doesn't make any difference. Although, like Ringo and I might play our drum fills differently because our left hand is stronger. But basically, you play particularly on the drums, guitar, you can, like Jimi Hendrix, just turn that thing upside down and play it wrong way. But on drums, you do not. Any young drummers listening out there, do not arrange your kit to accommodate being left-handed and putting the hi-hat on the right and so on. Don't do it. Because if you do that, you'll never jam with any band because you have to stop everything to reconfigure the drums and like you'll never get to sit in with anybody. Just learn the drums or any instrument the way God made it.
Uh,
And that way you'll be much more versatile.
back to just do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because I just know a lot of drummers, and I was surprised to hear you were left-handed, to tell you the truth. I'd seen you drum many times, and I never noticed. So it was why bother with it?
Yeah, yeah. It really isn't an issue because in any piano particularly, both hands are working.
Yeah, I wanted when the police were breaking around the world. I'm trying to find a time where I'm wondering, was there a time when you went, "Oh my God, this is going to happen," or was it kind of an ongoing thing? Because you guys worked really hard for at least.
Yeah, there were many times when we thought, this is it. Oh my God, world fame. The first time we played the Marquee Club, that was, the universe was at our feet. Uh, it's incremental and every little step feels like world conquest.
It's interesting because there's a theory of well, we're kind of talking about just do it again. The police played a small club in Boston on their first tour.
Yes.
There weren't very many people there,
What was it? The Rat?
something like that. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and but there was a guy in that small audience who went on to be known as Oedipus, a DJ in the Boston area. He's like God in the Boston area.
Yeah.
He was a college DJ at the time, and he had what he called a punk show. And he took your music and he put it on the radio, probably for the first time, just because of that little show.
Yeah. Well, that happened a few times where
Yeah.
we would play to 10 people and one of them's a radio guy and they put it on the radio. And famously, one of our shows in Poughkeepsie, it was the night of the big game, some big football game, and consequently, there was nobody in the club. There were like 5 people in the club, and they were watching the game. And so we watched the game, and it was a great game. And at the end of the game, well, I guess we better do our show. And so they go to their seats, and we go around backstage and walk out on stage. Good, hello, Poughkeepsie, and we played our show. And of course, one of them was a DJ with whom we had bonded by that time, and we were kind of on first name basis with all the audience at that point. And he went on and played the record. Now, interestingly, there were maybe 10 or 11 people there, and I've met all 500 of them.
That's right. Exactly.
I was there.
Exactly. Well, they're good stories, and I've used that story, by the way, with clients who bitch and moan about a particular place, or we had a bad night, and or go to a party, a function, and they'll ask, why did we go there? And the answer is, I don't know, but it's better than having not done it. We'll see what
That's right.
and
Yep.
from what I hear in those shows, you guys played like you were playing a stadium
Yep.
for all those 11 people.
Well, I mean, we play our show. Once we're playing, we're playing. Doesn't matter who's out in front of us.
Yeah. Um,
But
you
by the
missed
way, for your
it.
listeners, what you just heard from Mike Gormley, that's manager talk.
That's right.
That's how you manage the Bengals.
You tell them about the time the police got on the radio,
Yeah.
whatever, how it worked. It, do you miss those days at all? Like, it doesn't sound like it, but Thought I'd ask.
Nah. You know, I see occasionally I'll come across a clip. Man, that youngster was working hard. Um, and I get much more result now by not working so hard. I've discovered that to play with an orchestra, I have to take my volume down to a quarter, not 11, 4.
Mhm.
And interestingly, when I play so much more quietly, uh, because the orchestra is so much quietly, you know, a snare drum will blast a 50-piece orchestra out of the water. So I got to be real quiet. And what I discovered from playing real quiet is that the drums sound better. I can use all much more kind of nuance and finesse and technique. And for non-drummers out there, there's a nuance, drums, but you drummers know what I'm talking about. And all the persnickety shit that's really cool that you never hear in a rock environment. I get to do all that. And my dynamic range, actually, I need to stick around to a dynamic level of maybe 4. But when I want to, I got 11 when I need it. And it has
Mhm.
much more impact when I'm down there. And then when I want to hit big, bang, it has much more. So I actually have more power from playing quietly, and no one gets a headache.
Oh, bonus. Yeah, you okay?
Although I'm going to have a sore throat from that sound effect.
Well, you can take a little rest now. We're going to go and take a break for a commercial, and we're going to listen to a police song by the Police this time called Message in a Bottle. It's the Mike Gormley Show. We'll be back with Stewart Copeland in a matter of minutes. Thanks for listening.